Hey Maggie, I'm having a big veggie day today.
Well, so am I, and I'm certainly not a vegetarian, but I love cooking with vegetables.
Vegetables are beautiful, and it has gained a lot of momentum that wherever you go there is better, if not very good veggie food. You know, a lot more accepted and a lot more diverse, which does blow that misconception that veggie food is boring, because, you know...
It's not.
For most people, all a veggie diet excludes is animal protein, anything that once had eyes. But it can include stuff that's produced from a living animal, such as eggs, honey and dairy products. People choose to go the vegetarian route for lots of reasons, and it's not just to give chefs a hard time. It could be on religious, ethical or health grounds. It's always been part of Indian and Asian culture, but it didn't really kick off in the West until the mid-19th century, when a meat-free diet became more accessible. The swinging 60s brought with it not only peace and love, but vegetarianism too, as Eastern religions began to influence Western popular culture. During the next 2 decades, veggie restaurants and health food stores started springing up all over the place. Fueled by diet and fitness fads, there was an increasing trend towards healthy eating habits. Public perceptions were beginning to change though, and during the 90s, vegetarianism was given a major kick along as environmental issues started to dominate the headlines. It was offered up as one of the weapons to help fight environmental damage and global warming. It's now more popular and acceptable than ever as people begin to question where their food comes from and what impact it has on the world around them. Maggie, there's been a lot of great vegetarian chefs and non-vegetarian chefs cooking very good vegetarian food that have had a great influence on me, but there's one guy that really has had a huge influence. When the Hare Krishna religion spread to the West from India in the 60s, it brought with it much more than kooky chanting and dancing. One of the movement's longest-serving devotees is Chef Kurma Dasa, who's now recognised as a guru of vegetarian cookery.
I was born in Buckhurst Hill in Essex. We migrated to Australia in 1964, 10-pound pom. I was Phillip Gordon. It was a challenge to my parents because, like all good Jewish boys in the eastern suburbs, you know, they hoped I'd become a doctor or a dentist or a solicitor. And instead I was a monk sleeping on the floor in Paddington. No one knew what on earth we were about, chanting in the streets, wearing, you know, bed sheets. But I guess people felt a little bit threatened. I just felt it was a wonderful experience.
A few months later, Phillip Gordon had shaved his head and become Kurma Dasa, pursuing his other passion in the kitchen.
After my first visit to the temple on a Wednesday night, I recall, they invited me back for a Sunday feast, yes, and I came and I experienced all these wonderful flavours. I must say, I can't remember much about the philosophy, but the food certainly impressed me. Before I knew it, I was cooking regularly at the temple, and it just took off from there, and I never left the kitchen.
Giving people spiritual life in the form of vegetarian food is an important part of the Hare Krishna philosophy.
If you love someone, you like to give them something and share with them, and food is an ideal way of sharing. People comment that the food makes them feel very sort of energised. There's no anger or tension or any negative feelings while the cooking's going on.
I feel good afterwards.
Yes.
That's the thing that I like about it. Nowadays, Kurma's on a mission, promoting vegetarianism worldwide and teaching the cooking skills to go with it.
So I just wanted to introduce myself. Hello, I'm Kurma, I'm an alcoholic. And, well, attitudes towards vegetarianism have changed dramatically. Sometimes the inner flesh just pops right out, and sometimes it doesn't.
Scrape it out like the other.
It's not dull and lackluster, but it's full of flavour and taste and excitement. There's our cheese, and as you can see, it's hot, very mainstream and extremely well accepted in society. Cheers, everyone. Hare Krishna, salute. And I'm going to do another batch and I'm going to leave them there, but if you happen to see them in the same predicament...